Hi there. This year we're sharing devotions about Paul's prayers. The Apostle Paul prayed about many things. What did he pray about? If we knew the answer to this question, would we become better at prayer? Can we learn from Paul? Well, Paul's prayers are found inside his letters. Tonight my focus is on what Paul tended to say at the tail end of his letters. And what we find at this place, at the tail end, is Paul's abiding interest in affirming people and praying for people. Now, we're about 3/4 way through 2020, the year that we will remember as the year of COVID-19. So this means that we're probably about 3/4 way through the New Testament, and we are at, therefore, the second letter to the Thessalonians. Now, there are only 3 chapters in this short letter. At the tail end of 2 Thessalonians, in the 3rd chapter, Paul writes, "But the Lord is faithful. He will establish you and guard you against the evil one. And we have confidence in the Lord about you, that you are doing and will do the things that we command. May the Lord direct your hearts to the love of God and to the steadfastness of Christ." In these 3 verses, I see Paul making an assertion. Paul is asserting and telling us that there are 2 relationships in the Christian life, 2 relationships that all of us have, 2 relationships that hold us and nourish us. First, we're in a relationship to the Lord. And because of this relationship we have, the Lord, who is faithful, will establish and guard us. Now, this was Paul's first reminder to the church. Second, we have a relationship to a community of believers, the church. A church of fellow brothers and sisters who look at us in love, who regard us with confidence. Confidence that we are doing and will do the things that God commands all of us to do. And this was Paul's affirmation of the Thessalonians. He was confident that they would be faithful. He gave them warm words. Well, we remember that there are people who believe in us, who have confidence in us, that we have a relationship with folks in the church, that we have an obligation to them. This year, COVID-19 has disrupted our lives in big ways and small ways. I experienced many things this year: disappointment, anxiety, doubt, a deep sense of separation, dislocation. We're all different people, but perhaps many of you know what I'm talking about. Let me tell you a bit more. I was looking forward to a full calendar of things this year. New patients I knew I would meet, patients whom I already know and who I'm midway treating and whom I know I would escort through the entirety of the treatment programs. New things to learn as a doctor. These things vanished. COVID-19 kept patients away for many reasons: fear, misinformation, reduced finances. In my workplace, and I reckon in most of our workplaces or at home, for those of us who are forced to work from home, we're not able to work to our usual standards. We cannot perform up to our usual standards. Our young children want our attention, and they're right next to our computers. We cannot readily consult our co-workers. We're reeling from Zoom fatigue. It's maddening, I know. And many people feel like they're stuck in a cycle of frustrating mediocrity. That's the way I felt. I am underperforming. I was looking forward to meeting and ministering to people in church. And then church closed. And now church has reopened, and I'm there, but the people I care about and long to meet have not returned. You know, humans like to feel that they're in control of where their life is headed. The pandemic has made it very hard for us to feel that way. And when we feel that we've lost control over the future, we lose heart. When we hear news of the difficulties our church friends face, our pain is multiplied. When COVID-19 infections began spreading across the foreign worker community in Singapore, I decided to work inside foreign worker dorms. Now, not everyone is allowed to do this. Because COVID-19 is highly infectious, only healthcare workers are allowed to do this. And you needed to be trained for this job. For 5 months, I entered a world that I'd never seen before. I joined a workforce that served the national strategy, a strategy that changed continuously as the situation evolved. And again, I saw fear, misinformation, distrust, and anger. Nobody was spared. Everyone was affected. The foreign worker, the stranger in our land, the dorm operators who faced public criticism, the employers whose projects stalled. It was a nightmare. But things are so much better now. And Paul's prayer calls us to two abiding spiritual truths. Do you see the truths? Firstly, that we must remember that God is faithful, that God will establish and guard us. Second, that each one of us must be steadfast, because that is required of us, and that each one of us must hold our brother and our sister accountable to do the things that God has called us to do. Paul's prayer is a prayer that we can pray today, and not just today, but as long as COVID-19 continues to limit our lives and disrupt our routines, and then beyond that, until God comes again and makes his home with us. Would you join with me in prayer? Make us steadfast, make us strong. May we not forget your promise to establish and guard us. May we not turn from what you have called us to. May we always be faithful. Amen.